Okay, so a little bit different video today, but I want to take some time to dive into the native PC port for Zelda Majora's Mask. Longtime viewers of the channel might remember that we've looked at projects like this for both Ocarina of Time and one for Majora's Mask in the past as well. However, it's been quite a while since we've taken a look at these. They have come a long way. I am currently playing Two Ship to Harkinain, which is the project that we will be looking at today from Harborer Masters. They also have an Ocarina of Time port available natively for PC, but what you are going to be seeing here is the version 1.1.2, if I'm not mistaken. It is running at 4K on my end. You guys will see probably 1080p in terms of the export, 120 frames per second on my monitor, and some really cool enhancements available. Also a customized texture pack of Majora's Mask Reloaded. We'll hop right into the gameplay so you guys can see it. But I wanted to spend a minute and give this project a shout out because I've only completed really the first day-night cycle, but I've more or less decided at this point that I'm gonna have a run through of Majora's Mask again with all of these enhancements. Just the reloaded texture pack, what you're really seeing with that is just some improved visuals, same character models, same kind of look and feel and original, sprite or 3D model of your characters that you're used to. Nothing drastically different there, but everything is crisp and precise. If you just had it only upscaled, things like the HUD items and various different textures would just look a little bit more simplistic, if you will, a little bit more pixelated in certain parts, and this reloaded custom texture pack does just kind of smooth all of that stuff out and really give you a pretty cool experience in native 4K if your monitor goes up to that. You can also do 1080p and it's still going to be noticeably improved from what you're talking about with the original Majora's Mask game. Shout outs to the tutorial I followed as well. I will have it linked in the description down below to get all of this set up. Very easy to do, but nonetheless, one of the big things that I want to shout out right away in terms of just quality of life enhancements that's there is this free roaming camera tied to my right analog stick, which I am playing this on an Xbox Series X controller, funnily enough. Easy to talk to Windows, and I have that little USB dongle that allows you to seamlessly use it wirelessly without even doing the Bluetooth setup and stuff. Seems to be less latency that way. Anyway, really enjoyable way to go ahead and experience this game here, and nice to have with the wireless controller and all that. But that dual analog game changer enhancement that's available on Two Ship to Harkinain here, which is the version that we are playing right now. So that's a really nice feature and addition. Then you have things that you will see on screen, such as the D-pad. You basically just have a whole extra set of icons that you can map things like your Ocarina and your different masks within Majora's Mask 2, which is obviously a huge quality of life enhancement, considering that you kind of need your C buttons for a lot of other items and those get taken up. Then you have what you would notice at the bottom, which is the 3DS clock, and this is something that's easily enabled, and I will just kind of briefly show you guys how this actually pops up. But if I press the F1 button on my keyboard, I have all these different menus here. There are so many different things that you can do to enhance the gameplay, speed things up if you want faster text. You can even increase Link's climbing speed. There's a whole lot of different customization. I don't know if they've gotten to randomizers or things like that here yet through this particular project, but they are constantly adding new stuff to it. But one thing that I did enable was that 3DS clock below, just because I like how it takes up a little bit longer space at the bottom, as opposed to it being, a rounder clock like it is from the N64. But all that stuff is super easy to enable or disable at any time just from going through these different menus here. You have auto saves, you have the D-pad controls enabled, and you can have all types of different customizations. We'll go to the original there, and you can just see kind of how quick that pops up, and we'll actually leave it on that for the time being, because seeing the updated textures from the reloaded pack texture kind of do look cool. I like the look of that sun there. But anyway, you see the smooth frame rate, you see just kind of how responsive everything is from a gameplay perspective. No input delay whatsoever. Really cool that they're able to pull stuff like this off while we're waiting on companies like Nintendo that take their sweet time to bring these back to modern platforms. Obviously, we had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on the 3DS. We now have them playable in their N64 original form, of course, through NSO. But you know, sometimes you want to experience the enhanced versions of these games. Majora's Mask on the 3DS has its fair share of complaints from fans, so I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to play this version as opposed to you know, the 3DS version. Not to mention, you have to do that portably. You cannot do that any other way. So, you know, having the ability to do it on a TV is obviously a big win. If you like to do that, as I typically do. So, you know, different things like that that allow you to choose. I will say one thing as well, at least as of now that I am aware of, there is not currently a 3DS texture pack available for this, although I do believe one will become available at some point in time, where essentially you can make the character models and all of the various different items and, you know, the whole game, you can essentially make it look like the 3DS overhaul, the remaster. I do believe that that will be coming, because I believe currently you can do it with Ocarina of Time. You cannot do it with this, however. So Majora's Mask still a work in progress for the 3DS texture pack. We may check out this again whenever we do, you know, get to that point in time, but there's still some ongoing stuff, and I don't have the item that I need, but I can actually just go, I know we need to rescue the old hag here that is stuck, and we'll follow the monkey and all of that, just in the very early portions of this game. But booting this game up just kind of inspired me to go back through it again, and wanted to kind of shout out this version of it, because again, various different customizations and various different things you can do to kind of just, you know, relive a timeless classic once again. And that camera control, I can't overstate that enough, just how much of an enhancement that really is. I mean, I do think you will quickly realize it when you go back and play to the N64 and NSO, like just how sorely that second analog is missing. And having that enabled or disabled very easily is really nice. There is some wonkiness with how you'll want to map your C buttons if you do that, because they kind of expect you to use that second analog initially for the C buttons. So there is some complications with that particular setup, but even just whenever it comes to you know, your different options in controlling your character, you can map this to mouse and keyboard if you would want to for whatever reason, or you want to play it on essentially any controller that can hook to your PC via, you know, wired or Bluetooth or wireless connection. It allows you to do all of that stuff. So rocking, you know, 120 frames per second, 4K textures, and a customized, you know, reloaded texture pack. Pretty cool, considering that, you know, you can do this and enjoy a really upgraded version of Majora's Mask. And then, you know, to kind of, that's kind of the enhancements that I wanted to go through at a high level. There are more detailed videos if you want to know everything Two-Ship to Harkinian can do. I should also mention, because there are some other versions available of Majora's Mask, like Majora's Mask Recompiled, which is also a native PC port, but done a little bit differently. And it has some of the enhancements, but I don't think that it's quite as fleshed out as what Two-Ship to Harkinian is right now. So this is probably the definitive version to check out if you're really wanting to play through Majora's Mask and see kind of all the customization and enhancements that can be had with this game. But, you know, as time goes on, these teams and really talented individuals that make these projects possible, I'm sure will continue to update things. We will probably ultimately end up with a 3DS texture pack and various different ways to play this when it's all said and done. So, you know, yeah, I wanted to shout this out, and then also just wanted to kind of, you know, have this as a reminder conversation of, you know, while we're waiting for Nintendo to port some of these timeless games, there are really cool ways to go back and play them. I've bought Majora's Mask myself on about 4 or 5 different consoles now at this point, with different editions and everything else, and all of those kind of pale in comparison to this whenever it comes to the quality of life improvements and just a smooth gameplay experience. So cool way to check it out. Big shout outs to Harbor Masters and all of the people that put in the work to Two-Ship to Harkinian. Again, I will have a tutorial video linked in my description down below, should you want to go check this out for yourself and kind of get it set up and see how you like it. Playing through it personally. While we wait on, you know, I'm still hopeful one day we're going to get something like a from the ground up Ocarina of Time, and then ultimately Majora's Mask remake, hopefully in the Switch 2 generation, because it was hard to believe in yesterday's video when I was mentioning it, but I looked up the launch date for Ocarina of Time 3DS, June of 2011, and so that means, yeah, that we are quickly approaching 15 years since that game was re-released, if you can believe that. 1998, the original release date for that game, which means like we're quickly approaching that 30-year time slot, if you can believe that, in 2028. But nonetheless, it has been almost 15 since the game was revisited, so maybe it's time for Nintendo to bring this back to us in 2025 or 2026, and we'll have to wait and see. But I do think that if we get Ocarina of Time, we will likely see Majora's Mask follow shortly there afterward, just like we did on the 3DS. So I'll get back to my gameplay here. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any interest in these, fan projects where people painstakingly decode this game, and literally make it run natively on the PC. Are these things you've checked out in the past? Have you come back to them recently? Because I will say that there are a number of different upgrades and changes have been around since the last time I checked this out. And do you have any hope that Nintendo's bringing this stuff over to, a Nintendo piece of hardware anytime soon in terms of a remake or remaster for Ocarina of Time and or Majora's Mask? So make sure you share all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below before you leave, regardless if we agree or disagree. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell. And with that, I've been Sunbro, you've been Nation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.